All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's trading recap from January 11th to January 15th. As you can see, had a pretty solid week, up about $1,400, was up about $3,200 before Friday's flush, but we'll get to that in a little bit, up 3.8% on the week. Had a couple notable winners in UAVS, MGNI, and OZON, and always trying to keep those notable losers as small as possible. You can see FEYE down about 5% on that. U lost 3.4, and then CRSR, because I sold some into strength, got that about even. So for the agenda today, we'll be going over general market recap, take a look at the S&P 500, QQQs, Dow Jones. Then we'll jump to the Tik Tok Trading Challenge, how that's going. We'll review both the watch lists, the breakout watch list that I put out Sunday mornings, and then the midweek movers one that the live stream that I do either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how the week plays out. Take a look at some open positions, share all the stocks that I'm currently holding going into the long weekend, and then break down a couple finished trades. If you enjoy trading content, please subscribe to the channel, Stock Tricks with Nick, and follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. If you're watching this after I stream, there will be timestamps in the comments for each of the stocks. Quick disclaimer, none of this is financial advice, all educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence. Trading comes with financial risk. So quick look at the general market. So looked pretty steady this week, Monday through Wednesday. Then Thursday and Friday started to see that trickle down a little bit. S&P 500 down 1.4, the Qs down 2.2, a little bit more aggressive on that. Dow Jones down about 1%. And then the index, or I guess the ETF that I mostly watch is FFTY. That's the IBD Top 50. That was actually up 2.8%, and you can see how that reflects in my trading. I had a good week, even though you could see the market was down. And you could see that's partly caused by a lot of the large cap names continuing to trade within their base, or even lower if for Facebook and I'm not sure about Amazon. We'll get to that, but small sectors stay strong. Got a couple trades off this week that worked well. So let's break down those charts. First, we have S&P 500. You can see this was Monday. We opened up a little bit lower on Monday. We had that really strong finish on Friday. So open lower, just kind of traded sideways, even on Thursday, down a little bit. But then today, especially, we gapped down, tested that 8-day exponential moving average. That's this purple line I have on my chart, and then just dripped lower. Still above the 20-day. We'll see what type of volume after hours comes in, but so far still in a consistent uptrend, but now we're getting into a small sell-off. Let's jump to the Qs. So again, very strong close on Friday. That dripped lower Monday, Tuesday, had a rebound on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday came back in. Qs actually closed lower than the 20-day simple moving average, so a bit concerning there. And you could see that on a lot of the growth stock names. Friday was rough for us. Dow Jones, that stayed up pretty well during the week, and then again Friday dripped lower, but only 0.6% down today. Then FFTY, IBD Top 50, very strong action Monday. Reclaimed the previous day's high, even though it closed higher above the Bollinger Band. Solid move on Tuesday, some consolidation Wednesday, and then a pullback on Friday. Opened and just everything kind of sold off a little bit. Larger volume in the pullback. So maybe we do have a couple of days to shorten trading week next week because MLK Day, no trading on Monday. So maybe we do kind of drip lower to the 8-day or allow the 20-day simple moving average to catch up a little bit. So those are the general market indexes that I track. Next, we'll jump to the Tik Tok Trading Challenge. So if you're new to the channel, every week, whatever I make on TikTok, I dump into a Robinhood account. And from the Breakout Watchlist video that I post every Sunday, this week it'll be Monday because Monday's closed, you get to vote on your favorite setup of 4 that I choose from. And this week, I gave you guys CRSR, JMIA, PENN, and Snapchat to vote from. And early on in the week, we had that gap down on Monday, and then everything took off. So the account crushed it this week. You can see up 7.3%. Most of that thanks to JMIA. CRSR was looking great, and then Thursday and Friday pulled back. Otherwise, that would have been a really nice winner. And Snapchat too was positive until Friday. So if this TikTok account or the Robinhood account outperforms myself at the end of 2021, I'll be taking whatever's in the Robinhood account and giving that away to random commenters on that TikTok video on my YouTube channel. So if you're not yet signed up, all you have to do is drop your Twitter or your TikTok handle in the comments of that TikTok, the initial TikTok video. And if you guys can outperform me this year, I'll be giving that account away. So let's actually go to the charts on some of these because it's always good to take a look back at some of the names. So CRSR, this is one that I traded personally as well this week. You can see all the flags. I bought this before the run up through here and then got stopped out of the rest. Gave it a couple weeks to go through kind of a bounce, pulled back, and then everything tightened up. I took the trade when it broke over the little pivot point right here. But let's see. Yeah, this is Monday. So you see we opened lower on Monday with the trading account. I just buy right at the open, use a market order. That shot up, broke over the kind of pivot point. So that's when I bought over the high of the previous day, so 40.41. Then it squatted, kind of frustrating, but the next day picked up, touched off the 8-day, moved higher, all good things. On Wednesday, it spiked even more. You see red flag. I sold some of the strength there. I like to take about 20-25% off if we can get around 10% profit on a trade, just to give me a profit buffer in case it turns around on me. I don't want a stock that I'm up 10% on to turn around and actually damage my portfolio. So sold some in the strength there, stopped out halfway of the remaining shares at my entry, and then the remaining half at my original stop there. You can see Thursday, Friday, still low volume pullbacks, but again, I'm not letting a big winner turn into a loser for me. So stopped out, I don't know, lost $1, basically even there. But this could form up again and go. We're right in the middle of that volume shelf there, but probably needs some time to at least maybe rally a smaller amount, form up a pivot, and then go, or some sideways action. But this was looking great until Thursday. Next, we have JMIA. This was the monster for the account. So you see on Monday, let's see. Yeah, this is Monday. I put it on the watch list thinking come like Tuesday or Wednesday, we rally up to the pivot point and that could be a possible buy. It opened well lower, got filled right at the open, and then it moved up, pulled down a little bit on Monday, whatever. And then on Tuesday, strong volume, pushed over that pivot. Wednesday, great volume, moved even higher. Thursday, doing all the right things. And then today, it was down 7%. But still, the trade in the TikTok account was 21% return. So really solid. If this can kind of trade sideways, then you have the previous high as a possible buy point and something like that to go through the previous high points. So that's JMIA. Lower volume on the pullback today, but maybe we do need to continue that on, test the 20-day or the 8-day exponential. Next, we have PENN National Gaming broke 100 for the first time. The idea behind this was we closed on Friday just below this pivot. So if we could break through that, that would have been viable. I didn't personally take the trade, but it would have worked out really well. I did take the trade in the Robinhood account, obviously, and because we opened so low on Monday, again, got a great fill, ran right through that, and rallied throughout the week and then just pulled back to the 8-day exponential on Friday. But one thing I wanted to point out, look at the volume on the pullbacks compared to the breakouts. Not many people trying to get out. That's a great sign of relative strength if this can hold come Tuesday. That's Penn National Gaming. Went over 100 and has now pulled back under. And finally, Snapchat. This probably got pulled down because of like all the censoring talk with big tech. Twitter got rocked on Monday. Same with Facebook. Maybe this second half of the week, you're starting to see some downward action. I guess it was up today, 2.6%, but still consolidating in the lower half of the previous day's candle, under the 20, under the 8-day. A little concerning on that. But the trade idea is coming back in. If we could break over the 20-day simple moving average and the high from Friday, that would have been buyable. And if you did that and you took some profit on the way up, protected your entry, that could have been a profitable trade. But I didn't. You see one candle, like I put this trade on, took it off right away, didn't want to hold too much exposure through the weekend, and then didn't take the trade on Monday because I was in some other names, but still looked good. Not much. As long as you handle the trade and handle your risk correctly, you're getting stopped out for even there. So those were the 4 names from the past week. Come Monday morning, I'll be putting out a new breakout watch list that you guys can watch, then choose your favorites, and that poll will be on Twitter for that. So that's the Tik Tok Trading Challenge. Jump to the rest of Sunday's watch list from last week. Big winners, JMIA. This is from Friday's close, up 16.8%, AGYS up 8, and BLNK up 7.3, and that's with a very large pullback that we'll get into in a second. The large losers from the Sunday watch list, OCUL 8.1, TGTX 8%, and LAZR 7.3. Unfortunately, I traded both of these names, but we'll break down those as well. Overall, the watch list averaged a 1.2% return on the week. That beats the market except for the FFTY IBD top 50. So we're still finding the best stocks, the strongest stocks performing well on average. So let's break down some of those names. First, we have BLNK. Obviously in a very strong uptrend here. You got the 200, the 50, the 20, the 8, all in the right order. Formed this nice pivot when it pulled down on Friday, the previous Friday. Took out the high from Thursday. That was my buy point. Came through with good volume. Continued on the next day. It was up about 10%. You can see I sold some into strength, like I try and do. Take some profit on the way up. I added to it when we broke over the previous day's high because it looked like it broke out, pulled back, and then did consolidate higher on Tuesday. So showing some decent strength. Thursday or Wednesday, just sideways action, very light volume. Not many people were trying to get out of the name on Wednesday. So when we broke over that, I added to the position because I already had some profit on the way up. But after that, I had a tighter stop on my ad at the low of the day, got stopped out of that today, and then got stopped out of the rest of my position when it checked back to my buy point. So I actually made $100 on this trade, which isn't much. It was up at one point, 20% from my highs, but that's how I managed it. I knew I wasn't going to take this trade for a loss because it already had gotten out so well, and that's part of breakout trading. You want to get as much exposure in the market as you can, as long as you're quickly rolling up your risk and keeping your downside risk as small as possible. So that comes with taking profits on the way up, moving stops up, in like taking some size off if the market's acting funky. So that's how I traded that. Maybe this forms up again. We'll definitely keep this on the watch list, but might need some time to get going again. It's BLNK. Next we have TGTX, and this was my largest holding going into the week. I had about 20% of my portfolio on this. This is favorite type of setup, high tight flag. So we had a 114% move up, and then a pullback of just 12%. So not many people trying to get out, even though it just moved 112%. It's usually a good sign. We had this pullback and then a nice puncture under the 8-day, maybe stopping out anyone who had their stops kind of through here. They would have been stopped out there. And then had another, I guess, fake out, pulled back, set the trade up really well. I bought with a break over the previous day's high there. I added it to it the next day, right at the open at the 8-day. Added more to it. Where is it? Added more when we broke over the high. From there, it squatted. I ended up taking half off, put that half back on. So this is a very actively managed trade, and it looked like it was going. Look at the volume. Here, let me hide all the flags so it's just clear. So lots of volume coming in, broke out over this kind of tighter pivot, even broke the previous highs through here. Let me draw that. So this was looking great. I had a ton of size on it. I did take some profit on the way up. So I went from like 20% to 15%. I moved half my stop to my entry point, and then half of the remaining was at the low of the day. So on yesterday when we undercut Wednesday's low, that's when I got out all the way. So I need to do the math to see how much I lost or made. I probably lost a little bit on this, but because I was rolling up that stop, because I took some profit on the way up, it was on paper like this looks like a bad loss, because here's where we called it out on Friday. We closed right there, and this Friday down 7.5%. But with moving up your stops, being protective of your entry points with at least portion of your position as it goes through or attempts a breakout on good volume, we were able to mitigate a lot of that risk. Next we go LAZR, and I think this one could still set up again, but I always listen to my stops. So this is one that it's basically the best volume chart that you can ever ask for. Tons of volume on the way out the first time, much less on the way back in. This did pull back a little bit more aggressively than I would have liked, 53% from the high, but broke out again on heavier volume. Look at the very light volume on the way back in to the 20-day. A little bit, couple heavy volume days on the way out. And then it did what I really like to see, which is undercut the previous low, because everyone who gets in on this turn puts their stop at the previous low. Or not everyone, but like a very large percentage of breakout traders will do that. So when we check back and undercut the low, that takes out all the weak hands in the name, and anyone who's getting back in is new blood on the trade. So this rally back up, had one more pullback to really tighten everything up, and then I bought on Wednesday. Here, we'll show the trade history. Bought on Wednesday with a break over the previous day's high. Or actually, we opened higher. I waited for it to see if it would like just open high, pull down low, pulled down to the 20-day, and then recaptured the open price. That's when I put the trade on. So I'm not trying to chase a breakout. If it goes without me, that's fine. But this one did pull back, found some support, and then took out the daily open price, and that's when I put the trade on. Got out really well. It was up, man. It was up like 11% from my entry. We did here. I'll bring it over here. It was right in the middle of this volume shelf. So some traders that got in probably over here or over here that didn't take their profits on or didn't have tight enough stops when it pulled down finally got their chance to get out again, maybe sold that off. I probably should have taken some profit, but it was such a quality volume setup and everything else was working. So wanted to give it a little bit of room to run. Unfortunately, checked back. I moved my stop up a little bit higher and got stopped out today at just below yesterday's low. So what is that? 32, 31. Yeah, so about 2% loss or so on the trade, 3%. Not bad. Still could form up again. Doing all the right things on a volume level. I'll probably be watching for a break over 35.75 though, just so we can kind of get over this volume shelf there. That's LAZR, and that's the recap from Sunday's watch list. So found some good winners, averaged 1.2%. That beat the market. That's what we're always going for. Midweek movers, we do that live stream either Tuesday or Wednesday. This week it was on Wednesday because it was a normal trading week. Next week will also be Wednesday because we only have Tuesday. We don't have Monday's trading. And got a couple names: ARVN up 9.7, ELYS up 7.7% from Wednesday's close. But a couple down names: LAZR, LI, and FTCH. So our average return from Wednesday's watch list, so just on Thursday and Friday's returns, down 0.5%. But compared to the market, that was down 1.3, 0.8, doing relatively well. So let's break down a couple of those names. ELYS. So this is the one that did the best. And what did I say we were? Yeah, 7.7, and that's with a 7.5% pullback today. So high type flag ran up 414%, or maybe not a high type flag. No, not a high type flag. Sorry, ran up 414%, pulled back 34%. I'll undercut the previous pullback. So on the 8th, we undercut that previous low, knocking out a lot of stops through there. And then the 20-day simple moving average held very, very well on the way up. Formed this nice pivot through here. I'm kicking myself because this was one that I should have jumped on. Just had too many names on Thursday to take another trade. But look at how it sold off basically at the same price for 5 trading days. So if we break over that price, especially with the volume that we got, you know that it's gonna move. So even from that breakout point to the peak, that was a 19% move. Could have definitely taken some profits on the way up, and getting rid of that line. Found some support at the 8-day exponential moving average today. Lower volume on the pullback. This could just go from here, just because this was all the growth names were flushing on Friday. So one to watch for if it does tighten up lower and then goes maybe like a cup and handle takeoff. It's ELYS. Got LI. So this name, the idea behind it was just break over that, because this was Wednesday's bar. Got inside day on Thursday, or no, this was Tuesday's bar. We had the inside day on Wednesday, so I said if we break over the highs from these 2 candles, that would be buyable. We never got there. We had another inside day on Thursday, and then just flushed back to the 50-day simple moving average today, down 6%. Still might be one that works in a little bit. Got the right type of volume coming out, very low volume coming back in. Right in the middle of the volume shelf. So maybe it finds some support at the 50-day or the 20-day right there, buys it back up, but that'll probably need some time to get going. And then, so that's the watch list from the midweek movers. And finally, we have my current portfolio. So right now, I'm 68.1% invested net long, don't have any short positions. Here are all the names with the percent of my portfolio. Right now I have 8 positions between 5 and 10%, and 5 between 0 and 5%. A lot of the ones that are 1 to 2%, I've already taken a lot of profits on the way up, or yeah, those are all pretty solid winners. GOGO's up 51% from my entry. But other than that, I got stopped out of a lot of names today. So I don't mind getting stopped out. The week was great. I had some profit, and the market told me which of my positions were the weakest because they pulled down the most. So if I get stopped out, I'm getting stopped out of the weakest names. The names that don't get stopped out, those are the strongest going into the next week, have the best chance to perform. So I do want to go over a couple of these charts, and then we'll call it a recap. Let's go UAVS. This is one that Leif put on in his trading program, was doing all the right things, tons of volume on the way out, 208%, pulled back 40% on very, very light volume, got out again from what could have been a pivot buy point, but 40% back, that's a little aggressive to take that low of a buy in that early in a pullback. Usually you want that to kind of trade out for 6 to 8 weeks and then set up, but got out with a ton of volume, checked back again, and then formed a nice pivot here, chasing the 8-day exponential moving average up. Had the inside day on Wednesday. That set up the trade for Thursday's breakout, and tons of volume on Thursday. I didn't get filled at the perfect place. I think it was like 860 on the fill, so around here. When it went hard. At one point, it was up like 46%. Definitely took about 25% off into profit there. And today held up really well, 6%, green 6%, while the rest of the market flushed. So one of my positions that held the pullback today. Definitely don't want to give this one up just yet because it's showing great relative strength, tons of volume on the way out, doing all the right things. It's UAVS. And last one I wanted to cover was GOGO, because this was on the breakout watch list on Sunday as well. And I did take this trade. It was one that has been so frustrating as a breakout trader that I was hoping that everyone would kind of push this aside. Were fed up with it. They wouldn't trade it anymore. And then once it got going, they would all come back to it because they're like, oh, it's finally going. And that's kind of what we got. So kind of based out after its last pullback, made higher highs here, higher lows, and then did pull back and form this nice pivot point. So on Monday, when we broke over that, I got in a little bit late at 1074. So ideally, you get in at the high here, 1062. Got in at 1074. Took some profit the next day, up about 8%. And then E-Trade was malfunctioning all week, especially on Thursday. So I wasn't able to get enough off on Thursday, but you can see it was up about 14%. I think I got about 30% of my position off at 1329 in this long upper wick. So 1329, man, that's pretty close to the high. And then I just moved my stop to my entry, or a little bit higher than my entry. I think about 1% up. And I got stopped out of the rest today on a low volume pullback to the 8-day. This one I might look to put back on if everything's going well on Tuesday. But with all these fake breakouts through here, everyone got fed up with this. And then when it did get going, everyone came back. You see good volume. And again, someone's just taking profit. When you get a squat like this, I was not shocked to see a pull down today, 9.2%. That's aggressive. That's definitely showing some weakness, but now we're just right back at the 8-day exponential, which has been in an uptrend, so we'll see how that goes. But I did get stopped out of the rest for now. So that's going to be the trading recap of the week. Like I said, great week up until Thursday, up around 8% on the portfolio, and then everything came crashing back for that flush on Friday, but still 3.8% up. I do lead the Tik Tok Trading Challenge by the thinnest of margins, about 0.25% right now, but all good things. So make sure you tune in on Monday morning for the breakout watch list for the shortened trading week. Again, Monday, no trading, MLK Day, and I'll see you guys then. Have a great weekend.